Cousins, everyone. Happy January 1st. Welcome, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace, and I'm here 3 days a week in the morning talking politics, social issues, all types of stuff from a non-biased perspective. Usually I'm on at 8 a.m., guys. Been having some little bit, technical issues, but it's cool. We ain't gonna complain. Let me make sure the sound is good. Everything is good. Today we have a topic to talk about. Now, you guys know, if you don't know, I have been following what's been going on with the immigration policies, what's going on with what ICE is doing, the Border Patrol, as well as the National Guard. So today we're going to be doing an update on these three entities because in the last 24 hours, I'm going to say this. I already knew Trump was going to do something for the New Year's. Thank God he didn't set another bomb off or did something somewhere to harm someone. But I do believe this move that occurred 24 hours ago, where the National Guard will be leaving some of America's cities in Chicago, Los Angeles, as well as Portland, because he lost. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the legal issues, implementation, blah, 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 implications. I do apologize. Hope you had a great New Year for the ones who celebrate. I don't really celebrate, but I don't want to dismay you guys. Hope you had a great evening. I had a long night myself, but we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to get into the Border Patrol legal issues because I have my eye on Bavano. So we're going to get into that, as well as we're going to get into a topic that's very important. How many people have been unalived by ICE in their custody? We're going to talk about some of the Fourth Amendment violations and what to look for 2026. Because I think what's going to happen is this is coming to a helm right now. This is coming to a helm, and Trump he thought that he can find a back door to everything and anything, but he can't. So let's see why he's backtracking and footing this morning and getting the National Guard out of these three states, highlighting that the National Guard going to send love and blessings to the two that one was unalive. Not sure what happened to the other National Guard. We haven't heard too much about that. That story went under the bridge right now because people started buzzing about the CIA connections allegedly to the shooter that we predicted. But the National Guard in that particular aspect, why aren't they being removed from Washington? What is the threat for the National Guard to still be there, highlighting what happened, but they kind of sweeping that under the rug? I just want to throw that in there. So this is what happened in the last 24 hours. Please bear with me. Cross your fingers. Pray that my internet is working well. Let's go.
Monica, a lot to talk about this New Year's Eve. Let's start back with the troops and the news from the president saying that he might pull some National Guard troops out of cities. Do we have any sense when that might be happening?
We don't know exactly when that's going to happen, Kate, but the fact that it is really significant. Of course, this has been a major effort and push by the Trump administration, but you did have that Supreme Court ruling specifically when it comes to Illinois. So that would apply to those troops that were in Chicago, saying essentially that they could not be there. And of course, the president didn't reference that.
Good job. Good job, Chicago. Shout out to the South Side. You know that's my home away from home. They set the standard with the fight against tyranny, with what was going on with this ICE situation, National Guard, and everything. Stand up for your rights. Shout out to the South Side. Let's go.
In his own social media post tonight, but he is saying that the handful of troops that were still in Los Angeles and in Portland will also be leaving. But remember that there are National Guard troops that are also still deployed in Washington, D.C., but that's completely separate. And there are more than 2,000 that are still deployed to the district. But when you talk specifically about these other cities, he says that they could return, at least that is what he spelled out as a potential, though again, with these legal cases ongoing, that could set up another court battle in the future. But this is still a headline for something that the president had really been boasting and been pretty proud of in recent months, Kate.
Happy New Year's to us. Happy New Year's to us. Okay. If y'all woke up to that news, I know that made your day. Like I said, I really thought that Trump was going to do something very horrific today, like set off a bomb, cause some trouble, because he's still trying to divert basically eyes off this Epstein situation. So we're going to go into our next news broadcast by ABC. After legal setbacks, Trump says he's dropping National Guard push in Chicago, other cities for now. It's because he lost, he lost, he lost. Put a smile on your face. Put a smile on your face for the people who are tired of tyranny. Let's go. Thank you for being here with us, stopping in. You know what we do here? We give a non-biased perspective as well as we ask for the intellectually not challenged to get in the comments. Hold on one second. Get in the comments, help us have a diverse conversation, and do it with a little bit of love. Let's go.
Breaking news tonight. After legal setbacks, President Trump says he is dropping his push to deploy National Guard troops in Chicago for now. Troops were sent here back in October, and around 300 Illinois National Guardsmen were still activated. But last week, the Supreme Court upheld a lower court order blocking troops from Chicago streets. In a social media post, the president said he's also dropping efforts to deploy the National Guard in Los Angeles and Portland, Oregon. He went on to say, quote, "We will come back, perhaps in a much different and stronger form when crime begins to soar again." Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker posting on social media this statement saying, quote, "Donald Trump's lying again. He lost in court when Illinois stood up against his attempt to militarize American cities with the National Guard."
Now remember, it wasn't only Governor Fitzer, it was actually, I'm gonna have to give it to you, Chicago mayor that set up a whole action team ready for when Trump was coming in. So they already had their legal team ready to hit it high. And as you hear, the Supreme Court upheld the ban of sending the National Guard out there because if they need it, it is up to that state to actually call for the National Guard to come in. And it wasn't any issues until ICE came in there and started kicking butt. I'm just keeping it real. It wasn't any issues. I mean, that's a lie. I'm a lie. That's a lie. We got crime everywhere, but it wasn't turned up and people getting beat up, locked up, and all types of damage being done to property as though we were going into civil war. Let's clarify that until ICE went in there, which called for Trump to have an excuse to bring the National Guard and then, i.e., the Border Patrol. Just this kept escalating and escalating. So shout out to them. I got to give love to the South Side. I had a hard time last year with them. I told you I was banging on the Democrats on their side. Not to say that they ain't corrupt, because I'm going to keep it real here. But we need them to fight correctly on this one. Okay. So
he's forced to stand down.
So now let's talk about some of the legal implications. I keep saying implementations. Excuse me. Hold on one second.
Thank you so much. I just love that we care so much.
That's my girl, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, her voice came like, oh, she made my day. Happy January 1st to everyone. Y'all know I'm a Hebrew. If you don't know, I don't celebrate, but I respect what you guys do. Whatever you want to do, that's your relationship with your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. All I'm here to tell the truth. Before we get into the legal side of this, let's see what they're saying in other countries because they may say something a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? That's why I listen to everything. Let's listen to WION. Okay, let's see what they got to say. See what the other countries got to say. This is from like Indian news or something like that.
This comes after the deployments phase announced that he's pulling the National Guard troops out of Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland. This comes after the deployments face legal challenges, with courts repeatedly ruling that the Trump administration overstepped its authority.
Thank you.
Now, in a social media post, President Trump said that he is removing the Guard troops for now, adding that the troops may be deployed in a much different and stronger form when crime rates go up. As of now,
okay, not a more legal and how can I say systematic form to unroll, bring them out if they need to, but just a stronger form, just in case if the crime go up again. And you're literally targeting American citizens. And again, I want you guys to remember this. I'm not big on what happened in the last 4 years under Biden, where we had a flood of illegal immigrants come in from all nations who have issues with us, all nations who we have stole their resources, caused pain and in their life, you know what I'm saying, got underlying issues. Yeah, that's a big problem. We have sleeper cells here, and I really do believe that. But his approach, again, I can say this on my head, upside down, whatever way you want me to say it, is not appropriate and is not effective. And we're going to prove that at the end of this broadcast when we get to subject number 3 about ICE and how many people actually has been unalive, how many casualties is happening under Trump. Trump have a lot of blood under his hand. And I'm going to tell you this. This is why I don't acquiesce to certain groups and certain things, the gang mentality, because the things that you don't speak up against, you're actually with it. And that blood lies on your hands as well. And that's just real. Trump got a lot of repenting to do before he see his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But let's go. Let's go.
Suggests crime rates have come down and hence the withdrawal. Troops were already withdrawn from Los Angeles after the president deployed them earlier in 2025 as part of the crackdown on crime and immigration. Even as the troops had been sent to Chicago and Portland, they never patrolled the streets due to legal challenges. Notably, efforts to deploy troops in Democrat-led cities have faced legal obstacles at almost every step.
Wait, so let's just keep this in mind. The National Guard that was there, the ones that wasn't able to walk the streets or do whatever in the middle of this litigation, guess what? They were still getting paid. Not that they're not supposed to get paid, because as reservists, they get a little check, but as active duty, they get more money. So this is more of our tax money that was literally just sitting there, waiting, I guess, for them to come and kick our butt. So remember that the fact that our money was being used for this too, for these people to be just on reserve while Trump creates all these legal issues and fake battles that he thinks him and his team can make up stuff as they go. That's what he's doing. He's trying to throw something against the wall, like most lawyers do. If you don't understand how law works, sometimes they talk you into the hole of believing what they're saying or give you such a good scenario that you guys find people guilty without even having evidence. Most of the time, it's the gift of gab and to see how what the people fall for, and that's exactly what Trump administration is doing. He's playing a legal law game. It's so sad to say. I have dealt with lawyers directly under their tenure. Okay, just keeping it real.
In December,
not all of them,
but
a good amount of them,
refused to allow the administration to deploy National Guard troops in the Chicago area for immigration enforcement, and which is a rare and significant setback, though not a final ruling. In Portland, hundreds of troops from California and Oregon were deployed. However, a federal judge barred them from street duty and later permanently blocked the deployment after a trial. In Los Angeles, California, National Guard troops were removed from the streets by the 15th of December following a court order, though an appeals court temporarily paused the part requiring control to return to Governor Gavin Newsom. In a Tuesday court filing, the administration said that it was no longer seeking to delay that part of the order, clearing the way for full state control of the California National Guard after it was federalized in June.
And this is where the Civil War would have happened between the state and the Fed. They tried to make the Civil War come between us, between color, between creed, between sexes, but they just saw it wasn't working, us as American people. I think we just want to live our best life. Like, we're really in that mode. Like, we stand up for what we want, but when it comes to just this, the big old, we not really with it. So this is another way I think they were trying to create civil war between the states and feds, and this is what ended up happening. So let's just talk a little bit about the legal side of this and what the National Guard was actually facing and is facing, and then we're going to get to the Border Patrol legal issues, because y'all know I don't like Bavano, okay? And if you don't know what I do here, we do comprehensive live. We speak from a non-biased perspective. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, y'all all welcome to be here. All I'm saying is just put a little respect on people's name. And if you are a child of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yeshua, just act like it. That's all I'm saying. Just at least here. Let's just pretend a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the National Guard faces many legal issues, primarily around federal versus state. Exactly, because they're taking the power again from the state, and they're not calling for this type of help. So when it comes to president federalizing guards unit for domestic deployment, is a major clash between the governments. Okay, so key legal battles over deployment, the federalization of it was one, state versus federal control. The core issue is that the president authority to take control of the state by way of the National Guard troops for domestic missions. And what's a domestic missions? Just scoop people up off the street who look brown. I'll come out there looking like Alibaba right now. You know what I'm saying? If I'm quiet, they'll be like, where you from? Until I start talking like that. Where she, you know it? Where she from? Where she from? Okay. Anyway, what that goes to say, that creates a major issue because they just scooping people up by looks, whatever that may be, knowing that this is a brown nation. I know y'all hate to hear it, but once you go black, you can't go back. So that's the major issue here. This is why I think is one of the underlying issues of them trying to push as many brown people out of here because the underlying tone in America, racism. Moving forward. Now, statutory interpretations. Shut up. I had to throw it in. You know I'm going to just keep it real. Okay. Statutory interpretations. Recent legal challenges focus on laws such as Title 10 USC 12406. Y'all can look this up yourself, that allow federalization. Okay, with courts scrutinizing whether conditions like rebellion, inability to enforce federal laws are met, or if the president is just misusing the power. Again, judicial review. This is the next issue with it. Judicial review. The federal government has argued courts can't review presidential decisions. I can't be checked. This is what Trump is saying. He's throwing anything against the wall. Boom, you can't check me. There's no separation of powers. But this is why we have the state powers, court powers, federal powers. Court is judicial. You know what I'm saying? Senate and everybody else. It's called a separation of power. But Trump said no. 2025 is what we're doing. Project 2025. Moving forward. So the judicial review, he basically said that y'all can't review me anyway. But courts included, the Supreme Court has pushed back on that, asserted limited on executive powers and judicial oversight. Fair is fair. So the next issue is civil liberties, deployment of immigration enforcement or civil unrest, for uncivil rest. Arise concern, because it's uncivil unrest allegedly, arise concern about posse comitatus. And we talked about posse comitatus. If you don't know, go back to the video where we were talking about the border patrol, okay? And the limited the military involvement in domestic law enforcement, okay? The border patrol, that video that I did a couple months ago. And the border civil liberties, okay? So administratively, this is the issue. Paying and promotion. Officers often face lengthy days, 6 to 12 months for federal recognition of pay increase. So they're having issues with pay, even though they're just sending them out there, having them sitting on reserve. Why we have an issue with pay? Not only that we were on a holiday, y'all know we wasn't on a holiday. We was on a government shutdown. We had a little holiday from the bullshit. You know what I mean? We was stressing. People were stressing, but we still was good. We was like, all right, let them just do their thing. But people was like, open this up and let us work and let y'all just go fight in the ring and do y'all stupid thing. I think that's what we was thinking when the government shut down. But I was talking about the holiday. So that affected it as well. And it says lending practice. It says Guard Reserve members sometimes lack the full benefits of the Military Lending Act. So this is some of the things that they have. This is just their personal issues. But I wanted you guys to kind of get an idea of what's going on in that particular subject. National Guard right now, it's out of Chicago, out of Los Angeles. I'm sorry. This is a happy birthday to us because they shouldn't be there. We could save our tax money, send the National Guard to over there to the border where they need to be and start working on that wall. Because if you know what the National Guard is supposed to do, is they supposed to be the people who come and do things like logistics, like do the bridges, food, medical. They're very smart individuals. That's why the National Guard are not the ones that be in combat in the street. Like they don't really have hand to hand with us. That's why they didn't really have any issues. And the only thing that they did, in my opinion, and I have to say this, I think that in my tin hat conspiracy mind, they used the National Guard, beautiful reputation, everything good about them as a ploy and sacrifice to them. Shut up. You know what we dealing with. If y'all believe in Charlie Kirk and everything that Candace Owen is saying, take a bite of this apple. The guy was CIA connected, which I had predicted before that happened. He allegedly had some mental issues that the family didn't know about. We're talking about the National Guards that were shot in Washington. It was just out of the blue. It was real weird, and we're not going to go deep into it. But this is what I'm saying. He used the National Guard for his benefit in so many ways. So this is a blessing to them and their family that they're kind of pulled away from this nonsense. I'm just keeping it real. Okay. If you got an opposite opinion, let me know. I'll get there at the bottom and check it out. It is what it is. But now we're gonna get on the Border Patrol, okay? Because they're two different entities, and y'all know I don't like Bavano. Ah, Bavino. Oh my God, I can't stand him. Help me. He's just a mean G.I. Joe. I'm just keeping it real. After no, well before that, after he bust the pastor in the head with the pepper ball and then did the testimony and went and said basically if you move under a pepper ball, you may get hit. That man literally could have had a concussion. Y'all remember the pepper ball that came up from the roof, and then the guy with the costume was next to him dancing. I don't know if it was the frog guy. This is what we needed the National Guard for, and the Border Patrol, to get people who was out there singing and dancing on the mic, saying things that may have hurt their feelings. Okay, let's move on. Now, I was having some technical issues, so regardless, we're gonna get through this broadcast. But I did want to get to what was going on with the U.S. Border Patrol, okay? Because right now it's a little quiet, and we're gonna follow up directly on Bavano Lying itself. Because I did have an article that it says the Border Patrol commander, he lied, but it won't pull up right now. So we'll see if we pull it up. But let's just talk about this. I can't stand Bavano. Oh, whatever his name. He's like a Italian mafia guy to me. That's what he remind me of. No cap, no cut, don't care. He's untouchable. Walk around with fake bow legs. Okay, I'm getting distracted. So the U.S. Border Patrol, thank you for being here in this January 1st. Y'all New Year. Blessings to you guys. I don't want to traumatize y'all today, but we're going to be up on what's going on. We got good news that the National Guard is about to be home with their family. We're going to save some money, and hopefully they send them to the border to do what we really need to do. Like he said, I'm going to come back stronger and better. Come back wiser. Please, 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 please. Send them to the border, like right there. Finish the wall. All right, so the U.S. Border Patrol, I want the National Guard to go finish the wall. Now let's talk about the U.S. Border Patrol right here. Faces many legal issues, including constitutional challenge over privacy, surveillance, technology, data collection, allegations of excessive force and abuse. After I go through this, I'm gonna look at y'all comments. I hope it's good comments down there, y'all. I hope we thinking. We're a little intellectual, but funny. Okay, that's welcome. I want you guys to speak. And welcome to everybody from different areas of the world. We got a good VPN, and we show a lot of different broadcasts from different parts of the world. We don't want to be biased here. Just we keep playing American news. You saw how we put WION Juan on, and we heard all those more details, right? Just pay attention. So these are some of the challenges that the Border Patrol is facing. Excessive force, as they should. Violation of asylum and due process, as they did, going there, being in the courts. Remember, that judge, she did get found guilty, but I think she's trying to appeal that and get it overturned. The one that tried to protect the guy who was coming out of her court. Literally, they was there just catching them as soon as they go in. That's just not how it's going to work. We're going to show you when on the next broadcast, there was actually 2 Spanish ICE agents that walked their mother into her immigration meeting to make sure that she was okay. And oh yeah, we got more to show you too. It's so much going on. And one of the ICE agents about to get deported, dog. Maybe I'll put that in the show for you. It's a little Spanish guy, Boricua guy over there, going over there, locking up people in his ass. His immigration status was messed up. I'll put that in the short for you guys. It's going down, okay? I just been kind of busy, but I'm glad to be here today. Hit the like button. Happy New Year's to you guys, okay? This person said, I have my own stash of pepper balls for when I see ICE in my town. Can't wait to give them a taste. Oh, yes. Listen, I ain't promoting violence, but y'all know what they was doing over there. New Orleans. Y'all saw them. They said, they said after they put them dolls out, and y'all know I don't promote that, but it's real. I told you I don't play around. Y'all been covered up with the blood of Jesus. Those ICE agents got sick. Yeah, I could put that in the shirt for you too. And that's why I said it's okay. Remember, I put in my post that those ICE agents, or there was someone at the ICE facility of Haitian descent that was unalive. You should have saw the comments. Haitian people like, it's okay. Blood for blood, blood for blood. I'm like, oh Lord, you gonna have the whole Haiti praying against ICE in them? Jesus. You talking about pepper balls? They talking about sending spiritual warfare to people, okay? It says, hi, I'm Duke from Chicago, Illinois. Happy New Year's 2026. Happy to all y'all. Blessings to you. How are you, Duke? Blessings, blessings. Deuce. A thank you. Forgot about the Matrix 40 black woman. I was going to skip this comment because I was like, what is he talking about? But get down there. Now, these are the legal issues that the Border Patrol is facing. Not only their sexist force, but violating due process at these meetings. Now, privacy and surveillance. Now, I want them to surveillance people. I think they're not us, not like mass surveillance. I'm talking about like go to social workers, files, figure out where these people used to live, figure out they know they can if they was working and start to track them from there. I'm talking about specified surveillance, not mass surveillance. But let's see. Privacy and surveillance, use of technology like automated license plates reader. Quiet. This turned to a tin hat. In drones, rise Fourth Amendment concerns about warrantless surveillance and data collection in a broader zone. And y'all need to look into these school zone cameras. I'm not playing, y'all. You know what they be giving you tickets for going over 1 mile per hour? This was the start of continuous surveillance. Just to get off the subject real quick, I got a ticket for 36 miles. No, what the hell? I was going 36 miles per hour, and the school zone was 25. So I think I was telling them that the time I got the ticket, it wasn't school zone time. That's what I told the judge. And you know what this jigger told me? Well, the speed limit do go to 35 throughout the whole day, so it don't matter. You know, he still processed the ticket for $36 from the camera that was a school zone ticket that was issued outside of the time of the school zone perimeters. I experienced that in real time. I don't know if you guys ever experienced it, but this is how they start to cross it over. Because I'm like, yo, so basically that camera is the police. Everybody who went over 35 didn't just get tickets any time of the day. They don't need the police there. That's what you're telling me? And then I asked them who maintain these cameras, and they can't tell me. It's a private company. I try to get in contact, feed them information. These private companies, see how they maintain it, who do it, what's the logs. You can't find nothing. So is the extent to the fight for me? Because if I had 1 or 2 tickets, so it wasn't like horrendous that I was like, yo, I'm about to fight. But I think if people get sick and tired of this, when we come together, we'll stop this mass surveillance nonsense because they implemented it to us slowly but surely through the lights, through these cameras. But I'm moving forward. Just had to give y'all a real life story. That's what happened. Okay, so the next issue is not only mass surveillance, okay, scanning our plates, excessive force and misconduct. Point taken. Lawsuits. Told you they was going to sue and report details claim of physical abuse, racial profiling, sexual assault. You, I just lost my breath because I'm gonna have to look for these cases right here. inhumane detention conditions, and that's what's going to lead to our ICE, what we're going to be talking about, and obstructing legal counsel, not letting people talk to their lawyer. That's why I was saying, if y'all get arrested, y'all better have y'all paperwork. People was like that. They had their paperwork, everything. They wouldn't even let them show it. Like, remember the little Somalian guy on my shorts? I know y'all mad at them for whatever, little heist they was pulling or whatever. They got nothing to do with me. But that guy right there who got pulled up out there by ICE, yeah, he was a citizen. They just dropped him off in the cold, just left him right there out there to die. Didn't even care. Now, so excessive force and misconduct, again, the actual assault. We got to figure this out. This is a general Google search, y'all. So I kind of summed everything up. Inhumane, thank you for Chat GPT. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like put all concepts together and then they pull up all this stuff for you. So this is where I'm getting a lot of the information from. So this is information educational purposes only. But when I tell you the law is the law, the law is the law. All right, lack of medical. One of the people died over there because they couldn't get their blood sugar medications, and that was early, and I think that was in Chicago. Due process of some asylum violations. Again, we're not supposed to just take everybody into the United States, but if people came in the right way to seek asylum, especially highlighting that. Shut up, y'all. That CIA agent came here under asylum. Ooh, the one that was involved in the National Guard powing. And they was working with him. They trained him. He helped them. So don't think everybody come over here on asylum just like coming in here all willy-nilly. Sometimes they be getting paid and be doing little under things with our government. Then our government just throw them in the garbage. So the asylum program is more than what you think. Spies. Moving forward. So again, moving forward, let's move on. Because before I get in trouble, you know how I do. State versus federal conflict. Tensions arise from the state, such as California, challenging federal agents' action like mass mandates. Talking about, oh, they wanted to be covered up. Damn right you did, because you was doing some inhumane stuff and you already know people was coming. Oh my God. You know what they did outside one of the facilities where they were sleeping at the hotel? Y'all saw that? Where they was outside beeping the horn? They was ruining their lives and dehumanizing and harming Americans. Reported highlights the psychological impact of physical harm, medical issues, death in custody result from aggressive enforcement tactics. Ongoing legal battles and concerns with the ACLU and other groups organized to challenge the activities and the practices is still going on. There's a use of force investigation going on. And again, we're talking about the Border Patrol. Okay, we just talking this out. Federal agents facing scrutiny over intensity of their use of force. Remember what Bovino stayed there? That's why I was trying to pull up this article, but it will not. But we will. We'll get to it our next live because I don't want it to be long-winded. But it looks like Belvino have admitted to lying about the tear gas incident. Oh shit. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse my language. I'm about to pull this up real quick because Bovino. I'm gonna have to talk this out real quick, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Border Patrol admits he lied. Let's go. I'm about to just pull this up and read this article because my Google messing up. And then we're going to go into how many people has been unalive, and we're going to start to get to the end of this broadcast. I want to say thank you for being here with Miss Grace. Please hit the like button if you like what we talk about from an unbiased perspective. I just want people to wake up. Make a decision that your soul going to be okay with. The rest of the stuff. You could try to be in a group. You could be cool. You could be whatever. But that's not going to last forever. I'm just going to be for real. We all going to have to face God. That's my goal. Let's get it right. I'm trying to get as many people to him as possible. And that's for real. Okay, that'd be my underlying goal. Somebody ask me, like, what do you do this for? Because I like to tell on people, on all people, and I like to research, and I want you guys to find a heart. Because this is the numbest society has been since medieval times, in my opinion, and in slavery of the black Hebrews. Now, Border Patrol Commander, shut up, because I know I got a multi-cloak here. Mega be mad as hell when I hit her with that. I hit your heart. You be like, fuck that. Forget about your history, chick. I'm sorry. It's the Alibaba scarf today. Okay, Border Patrol commander admit he lied about tear gas incident. Judge said as she restrict use of force by immigration agents in Chicago. This was November 7th. Now, I don't know why this is starting to flight around now, but he did lie, and we did do a reaction to his testimony. And I kept saying like, oh, he a liar, but he telling the truth in a way because he telling what he did. But he like, it ain't nothing wrong with hitting him in the head. That's not excessive. Now, the Border Patrol officially tasked with leading the Trump administration in immigration enforcement cracked down in Chicago amid to lying about rock throwing incident. So this is not even a pepper ball. Rock throwing incident used to justify deploying the tear gas. Okay. Let me finish reading before I make a full reaction. So it's a rock throwing incident. Obviously, they're saying someone threw a rock at them. U.S. District Judge Sarah Ellis said Thursday before issuing a preliminary injunction limiting the use of force during the immigration arrest and protest. The October 23rd incident involved Border Commander Bovino. Dun, 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 dun. Hated it. He's been a key part of the current proceeds challenging the tactics of immigration against agents during the Trump administration, Operation Midway Blitz, which began in September. Video of the incident showed Bovino throwing a gas container at demonstrators in Chicago, Little Village neighborhood, without giving a verbal warning, a violation of the judge's earlier temporary restraint order limiting the use of force, the judge said. Mr. Bovino and the Department of Homeland Security claimed that he had been hit by a rock in the head before throwing the tear gas. Like my grandma said, son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I had to say it. God forgive me. I've been good with the cursing. He's such a lawyer. He said they bust him in the head with a rock. I'm gonna keep it real. Y'all remember Chicago? There was shots fired like pow, pow, pow. It was so chaotic. See, if they did things right, they would have knew who was busting shots. But you're out there causing chaos, so the criminals used it as a little bump it. We about to bust shots. They can't tell, and they still don't know to this day. But allegedly, he lied and said he got hit in the head with a rock. So it says that is so funny. I can't stand him. Hit in the head with a rock before throwing the tear gas, but the video evidence disproved that. That has ultimately admitted, then he had ultimately admitted that he was not hit in the head until after he threw the tear gas. So I remember he did get busted in the head, but we saw that video, right? It's not funny, but it's funny. He deserved. So at this time of the incident, DHS defined Bovino's action, saying that the Border Patrol transport van, transport van transporting undocumented immigrants was attacked by the demonstrators, which was a lie. The mob of the rioters grew hostile and violent, advancing towards the agents and began throwing rocks and other objects at the agents, including one that struck Greg Bovino right in the head. Assistant Secretary said, her little lying, you know she a liar. She lied right in front of us. The one that be giving us all the statements on behalf of our United States. Oh, straight liar. But all of them are liars. They're taught to be like that. And I don't even know how they can handle the heat. Last administration, they had that like African lady, Haitian lady. Lord, I couldn't even see how she could stand with her soul sitting there just lying. But that's what they're talking about. She said that in the statement that the Border Patrol agent repeatedly, multiple times gave warning, which indeed was proved in opposition from the video. So that was what happened with that particular situation. Shout out to God. Shout out to the truth. The truth will always be the truth, no matter what you try to hide. The truth ain't to the truth till it come out. Now, let's move on. This is a little bit, we're going to lower the tone a little bit. I had to bring y'all up, bring y'all down. This is dead up. People are dying in these facilities. ICE is out of control, and we're paying for it. Let's go.
For people in ICE detention, the past year has been the deadliest in 2 decades. As of December, ICE reports 31 people have died while in its custody in 2025. That's more than the number that died even at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The last year with more reported deaths was 2004. Human rights advocates worry the year ahead could be even worse.
More than the pandemic, guys. And remember, I just want to send love to the people who's in the audience, but we'll get to your comments. Thank you for being here with us. I'm trying to present some information from a well-rounded perspective, so y'all going to see me run this. I'm not here to get distracted by some of the things that you guys just want to talk about. I got a lineup here. You see what I'm saying? But get in the comment, I'll get to you, okay? I appreciate you for stopping by, Art. But behave. Won't you give the host a little gratitude to the fact that this may not be easy for us? You don't know how easy or hard it is for us to stand in front of here and just talk. Maybe we have a calling. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just want to talk, okay? Just take a whole chill pill and get in on the broadcast. Get to know me first before y'all start throwing shots already, okay? We all adults here. Hit the like button. Let's listen to this because we have people that's actually dying because of this man. He has a lot of blood in his hand. And the people who support him, you are subtitle supporters of this. And it falls on you.
With
Like
a
it or
record
not.
high number of people in ICE detention nationwide and growing reports of medical neglect and lack of adequate food and water inside facilities.
I don't think in all the years that I've been around the immigration space that I've ever seen this level of deterioration of conditions and also treatment of people with dignity and humanity.
These deaths include healthy detainees falling ill in detention, like Ismael Ayala. He became sick in a California detention center and within a month was sent to the hospital for surgery. He died during the operation. There have also been people with medical conditions not receiving the care they needed. Isidro Perez had a long medical history involving heart attacks. Perez reported waiting to go to the infirmary and not receiving the pills he'd requested. He died less than a month after being detained. Of the deaths, 4 in ICE custody were ruled as potential suicide.
And okay, we're gonna let her talk, but now don't disregard that he died a month after leaving the ICE facility. You have to understand if you have kidney issues, diabetes issues, a strain within the care of that, missing your medications, you can go into DKA as a diabetic. That's diabetic ketoacidosis, which could send you into seizures, making you, it stems from you not controlling your diabetes. Also, things like when people have kidney issues, it gets worse from dehydration, bad conditions, and not getting their medicine. Okay, so just because he died a month later, don't disregard it because it still can be connected to this ICE facility. Just keeping it 100%. Sorry, my nursing kicked in. If y'all don't know, I am a travel nurse, not actively right now, but I've been a nurse for going on 13 years and I'm still in the field. So you're going to hear it come out sometimes. Let's keep it moving.
ICE last reported having 65,000 people in detention centers, 70% higher than when President Trump took office. Nearly half of those detainees have had no criminal convictions or even charges, being held solely for civil immigration violations.
Okay, and we're going to look at these numbers as well, too, to see who was actually criminals and who wasn't.
The Trump administration has chosen to detain even more people, thousands more people than ever before, and have really locked the door for many people to be able to get released from custody.
What we're hearing from people in detention are stories about having to sleep on the floor, not having proper access to medical care, and not having access to life-saving medication, food that has worms in it, or is rotting, or is insufficient.
An October report from Senator John Ossoff of Georgia detailed 85 specific cases of medical neglect and 82 reports of denial of adequate food or water. These include a man's reports of severe chest pain being ignored until he experienced a heart attack.
Oh my God. Do you know we literally have 2 minutes to 3 minutes as nurses to go get the emergency car and call for help when somebody say they got chest pain no matter what? We got to run two EKGs and get back-to-back blood work. We don't have no time. What do you mean? For several days. Where's the medical specialist that's in these buildings and you know they're cutting checks for them? This is our money though. I know you guys want them lock their ass up. But this is severe neglect and our money being spent on people who are just sitting there not doing anything. This is exactly why I left New York in the middle of the COVID. And I'm not saying all the nurses were bad out there, but I saw some shit. And $10,000 wasn't enough to sell my soul. I'm just being real. This is ridiculous.
And the mother's request for clean water for her baby's milk being denied.
Oh my goodness.
From a number of pregnant women who experienced very harsh treatment like shackling and the use of restraints and placement in solitary confinement for extended periods of time. The ACLU says people are dying from receiving the incorrect medication, not receiving CPR or being taken by the ambulance on time, and vulnerable detainees with conditions like diabetes, cancer, or Alzheimer's not being given the help they need to survive. I think one of the real tragedies of what is happening in immigration detention is the number of people who died by suicide, because those deaths are imminently preventable.
And I don't believe they're dying by suicide, in my opinion, because they're always saying that, let me not get distracted. I don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. We're going to talk about the numbers because they're varied. Some people saying 7, some people saying this, and people that was unalive here, but we're going to kind of just break it down. This is 7 people unalive in ICE custody in 1 month. Let's see what's going on here. Where's the volume at? Let's get it. This is ridiculous. Hit the like button if you like the information that I'm bringing you. It's diverse. It's for you guys to think. You don't have to keep it. It don't have to be your truth. But at least you saw it. At least you were subjected to something that's made, come back and hit your heart and your conscience before you make a decision in the future. That's just real. Let's go. It's a new year. We need a new heart. We need new love in America. Shit. We got to see past all of this craziness. We're not going to survive, y'all. Okay, let me not get to it. We got to do better.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
I'm Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari. I represent
I'm
Phoenix,
going to survive.
Glendale, and Guadalupe in Congress. It breaks my heart to be here after the holiday
Hold on,
season.
let's stop and give a shout out to someone who needs some attention. Cohen, welcome to the audience. Thank you for putting your comment. Any comment matters. I just like the fact that I could get your attention just a little bit. And it came up in your algorithm. It is what it is. All you have to do is not click on the video, but you were even further and typed in the comment. Happy New Year's to you. Okay, let me blow your mind. Let's go.
Begging that the Department of Homeland Security do the right thing. To the ICE Phoenix field office, have some compassion. Let Arbella Yadi Marquez receive adequate medical care. Release her with an ankle bracelet before she becomes yet another death in ICE custody. Consider a medical release immediately. This should not be a favor or an ask. This is their job. Her legs remain swollen. Her right wrist has been in a brace since April following a fall, and it's not improving. Recently,
that sounds like CHF to me, congestive heart failure, or some type of peripheral vascular disease. And people can't survive long with congestive heart failure without taking their medicines like diuretics and things like that, and having adequate to clean, healthy conditions.
she shared that she has completely gone numb in her thumb. Her pain has worsened to the point that she struggles to dress herself or walk to the cafeteria.
Yep.
Her cellmates have been assisting her with dressing and preparing food that she purchases from the commissary. We know there is documentation from an outside physician stating that Yadi requires more in-depth examinations due to her coughing up blood and rapid weight loss.
My goodness.
Stop listing.
Guys, is this not hurting your heart? I know I'm a healthcare provider, but good Lord, this lady is dying in there. She sounds like she has congestive heart failure. And the cellmates are working together to take care of her. Can I give y'all a heart this year? Please. Please.
Excuses as to why she shouldn't receive treatment. I actually had the caseworker at Eloy insinuate to me that Yadi is coughing up blood because of side effects to medication. The only medication they're giving her is some basic Advil and Tylenol while we were all enjoying the holidays.
So that means that her blood is too thin. If you're saying that you're giving her blood thinners like Tylenol and things like that, And that any side effect is an issue. Oh my God, I'm becoming a nurse here. I haven't seen this video. We got 20 more seconds of this. It's hurting my heart, y'all. It really is. This is ridiculous. This is abuse and murder.
7 people died in ICE custody just this month. Oh, in December.
God.
4 of them within 4 days, making it the deadliest month for detainees so far. There are thousands of stories like Yadi's across the United States right now. We've been sounding the alarm on her case all year long, and we will not back down. Stop with the excuses. I am demanding that my constituent Yadi be released so she can get the proper medical care that she needs with an ankle monitor, whatever it takes. Thank you.
All right, y'all. That was heart-wrenching for me, guys. If y'all have any care in your heart, pray for Miss Yachty that she make it out of this thing, man, because she don't seem like she have long to live. We're going to get to the numbers. That was 7 in 1 month that they said, but it says, according to NPR News, it has been the deadliest year for ICE custody in decades. Next year could be worse. And again, I just want you guys to remember, if y'all don't know, my uncle was an ICE agent, and I always say to myself, I wonder how he would have been behaving if he was alive for this. He was in retirement, and I know he would have got his booty out back out there. But this is terrible. This is terrible. So Immigration and Custom Enforcement has hit record numbers this year with the deadliest year since 2000. The agency office pushed to increase the number of people in custody. According to reviews of the death by NPR, at least 20 people have died in ICE custody yet this year. It says 20 according to NPR, but a basic Google search here for me says 30 people. The number comes as ICE is also holding nearly 60,000 people in immigration detention center, the highest number in several years. And that just made me had a tin hat. Yo, this thing turned into like a silver tin hat, like ting ting ting. You remember when they was making all of these jails and they was shutting down some of the Walmarts? This to my tin hatters. We was like, what the hell? They shutting them Walmarts down and they was looking like little jails and shit. Are they using those? Just verify for me because I just caught a flashback. But we do know that some of these facilities that they have cannot house these people, that many people, as well as some of them are already recreated facilities that was condemned. I.e., example, I know from personal knowledge that the Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, that detention center that the Haitian guy died in, actually, because I believe it was Delaney Hall. We'll talk about that. That was already condemned before they actually converted it into an ICE center. If y'all don't remember, we talked about that where mayor, that's my guy too. Oh God, Ross Barack. Ross Barack, they say he a little criminal. Oh my God, I got distracted. But from what I thought he's a good guy, he got locked up trying to go see the ICE facility. So that facility in itself, from my personal knowledge, it was a condemned building that had asbestos in it. It was so so badly condemned that they literally could get drugs from the inside to the outside without even walking in the building. Like they had holes and slots and all types of stuff. How do I know? I used to have another life. I wasn't a criminal. But I was around them thugs. Okay, so I knew what that stuff had involved. So now let's just finish off this broadcast with this. I want to say thank you guys for holding me down, being here. I'm still learning how to be a broadcaster. I'm just an informationalist. I just like to talk and give facts. Like, do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? So I'm learning how to communicate with you guys more effectively, making sure I articulate my words. 2026, I have some plans to elevate my broadcast, myself. I hope you guys have plans as well to elevate yourself and your family. And don't just do it for 2026. We got to do this to survive. For real, for real. So let's just close off with this. This is according to Google. In 2025, at least 30 people have been unalive in U.S. immigration custody. This makes the highest annual death toll in 20 years. 32 death recorded in 2004. What the heck was happening in 2004? Hold on, let me write that down. Y'all know what was going on? What the hell? Okay, excuse me. I got distracted. My mind worked like a web. Okay. So, summary of the 2025 death total count reports from last December, and it was like 3 or 4 this month. December 2025, at least 30 to 32 is confirmed death. This has been the deadliest month. Which, if people believe in, sacrifice, some winter solstice, y'all go down that route. Some people may think that these are human sacrifices. Shut it up. If y'all believe in the Charlie Kirk and everything that Candice is talking about, moving forward. So this has been the most deadliest month in December with notable lethal death. 7 death records include 4 individuals who were unalive within one single week between the 12th and the 15th. Okay, so now contributing factors or causes of where we're going to just close off to. Medical neglect, again, just reciting what they said allegedly. Suicide, which I don't believe, I don't agree, I don't think so, unless they're just so desperate to never go back to their country because they so tore up, or they traded on their country that they can't go back. I can see that, but not a high death toll of that. And they said they were just rude, apparently suicide. Now, overcrowding was another issue. The detaining population reached again in 2025 to 68,000 people in custody in the midst of December. Violence. 2 detainees were unalived in a shooting incident at the Dallas ICE facility in September. Y'all remember that happened? It was the detainees, and they were trying to make it seem like 2 officers got shot. And I don't know what made that happen, but they do have a list of some of the people that has passed away. And what I will say, I'm just going to send love and blessings to anyone's family, period. Even the bad guy family. Not to say that I promote violence, I promote criminality, but at the end of the day, it's going to be God to make the judgment on those people. I'm just being real. We got to lead with love. And I'm not just saying be forgiving and just forget and act like nothing happened and deal with the people, but we have to deal with love. So I'm going to close off by saying this. This is going to be a new year. We're going to pray that, the traumatization slow down a little bit. But at this point, I think you guys have just as much a tough skin as I got and the people around us. If we survived last year and COVID, okay, we could survive anything. So with that goes to say, I want to say thank you so much for being here with Grace. Check it out. We're going to go out with a bang, because if y'all don't know, this is who I gave my life to. And I hope you guys give y'all life to, because he's the dopest leader in the whole world. Y'all know what I'm about to say. My Lord and Savior, Yahshua. Let's get it. Let's go. Hit the like button. I tried to have that on the screen. It's acting up. Oh.